I want to welcome with us for this segment of the show Andy Davis, who is the director of Worcester Regional Airport, and want to jump right in, Andy, because there's a lot happening at Worcester Regional Airport.
A lot of activity. Right now we're in construction mode. We're keeping a modern airport even more modern, with the biggest project being the instrument landing system, which would, once it's commissioned, will allow an airplane to land in virtually pea soup fog. It's called a Category 3 instrument landing system, and what it will allow is for airlines to be able to land in very low visibility, which has been a challenge up at the airport, and the customers and the airlines expect and demand reliability. And with this infrastructure improvements, we'll be able to provide that by December of 2017.
And over the last couple of years, Massport Massport team working with you, and others have made some real progress in that regard with JetBlue and helping increase reliability. But this Category 3 instrument landing system is the state of the art that exists in every major airport in the
Exactly.
country.
Yeah, the largest airports have it. The airports that have weather and visibility challenges, such as coastal airports, have it. So it's something that is definitely well received here.
And again, something the Massport board, Congressman Jim McGovern, Ray LaHood, a partnership, Massport making a significant investment,
Right.
multi-million-dollar investment in putting this in, and Jim McGovern was able to secure FAA, then taking on some of the operating responsibilities.
Actually, that's part of the initiative that Massport took just about 4 or 5 years ago, when really the demand from the FAA perspective wasn't there to install a system such as this. It's traditionally provided and installed by the FAA, but with the lack of demand, they didn't see the cost benefit of doing it. Massport saw the future and sees the investment opportunity, so we worked with then Secretary LaHood and the FAA to make the proposal for Massport to actually make the investment, with the understanding and agreement that the FAA would take over the operating of the system. And that worked out great. So it's the investment that Massport's making in the airport for the future of aviation needs.
And as we see that growth and that vision that you just mentioned, maybe a little update on JetBlue?
Sure. JetBlue is doing well. We just celebrated their 3rd anniversary here, and over 350,000 customers using JetBlue, and that's just 2 flights a day, one to Fort Lauderdale and Orlando. So with those strong volumes and the commitment that Central Mass and Worcester has to utilizing commercial air service, that just reinforces our efforts to go out and promote the airport for additional air service, whether that's additional flights with JetBlue or new service with another airline,
right,
or 2 or 3.
Right. Yeah. No, that would be great. So yeah, I think hopefully a harbinger of things to come in 2017 as we turn the calendar. Other activity at the airport also involves another major partner, JetBlue, obviously being the lead, but Rectrix Aviation. Rich Cawley just completing again multi-million-dollar project. Maybe you could share with our viewers a little bit what Rectrix does.
Rectrix and Rich Cawley have been great partners with Massport. They're actually a Massachusetts-based company, started about 14, 15 years ago, and they're headquartered at Hanscom Field, another Massport airport just to the east of us. And they're growing. They're growing by acquisition, but growing by internal growth. They're a fixed-based operator primarily, which provides ground handling services for both general aviation, corporate aviation, and commercial aviation.
So they do some of the staff work behind the scenes for JetBlue.
Exactly. They basically do below the wing.
Right.
JetBlue provides their own customer service personnel, their crew members, if you will, at the ticket counter and the gates, but the ground handling, the loading of the bags, the fueling, the de-icing, and all the activity that goes out on the ramp is actually Rectrix. And they provide that service for JetBlue at other airports too, including the islands and Nantucket and Hyannis, where JetBlue has at least seasonal service down there. Rectrix is growing, and they're making Worcester part of their mainstay for growth opportunities.
And major companies rent Rectrix's planes to fly to meetings and things across the country.
They have a growing fleet of corporate jets. In addition to the fixed-based operations, they have a charter jet fleet. And just recently, they just announced, and they're already established at Worcester by relocating those jets at the Worcester operation to free up space for their external customers.
And that's significant opportunity for Worcester. Not only do you get that activity and those planes coming in and out, but for those corporate executives from the Boston area, the 128, 495 corridor, who are using Worcester Regional Airport, they're going to get a chance to kind of come through the city, the region, eat at some restaurants, maybe occasionally stay overnight, and maybe open up their eyes and world about everything that the Worcester region has to offer.
That's a perfect example of what an airport does for the economic activity of the local area. You do have business at the airport. You do have people flying in and out, not just the commercial customers, but corporate travelers. They need limousine services. They need car rentals. They need to go out and be wined and dine. They need to have a place to stay. So all that, whenever we have activity at the airport, transmits to the local area and the economy. In fact, a study at MassDOT and the FAA just showed that just the activity at Worcester Airport generates about $46 million in economic activity.
And we know the jobs matter behind that. And you mentioned just not only the spend, but their jobs. And Rectrix is bringing some real jobs to Worcester Regional Airport recently, just announced as well.
These are technical jobs. Those corporate jets that were just relocated need to be maintained and kept up. So you've got technicians, mechanics, avionics professionals that'll be working on those airplanes. And you've got some residual benefit because you can maximize those employees by not just working on their own airplanes, but provide those services to outside customers too.
And is it the 25 jobs, I think it was? Or
approximately 25
jobs that Rectrix is relocating from Hanscom to Worcester.
Correct.
Boots on the ground, payroll here, all being generated by Rectrix and Massport's investments.
Crew members needing hotels, their customers needing hotels, and it's all good.
Absolutely. Well, people are starting to feel it. We've had our first snowfall and temperatures have dipped. That brings a whole heightened level of kind of preparedness and work at the airport. What's it like to lead that effort?
Another big significant investment Massport made was the latest generation of snow removal equipment. And just over the last couple of years, we've invested about $2.3 million in brand new pieces of equipment that can rapidly treat the runways. Within 20 minutes, we can have a runway perfectly clear and down to the bare asphalt. We've been tested on that a couple of times already, and the crews are ready. And the one thing I like to say is we may not be able to control the weather, but we can certainly control the conditions on the airfield. And with the professional crew we have and the equipment they have to use, we're ready for the winter.
Yeah, so with the crews, the equipment, and some of the improvements you've made as we prepare and get ready for the Category 3 instrument landing system, increasing that reliability, dependability, so that the customers have less inconvenience and certainly dependability for the airlines.
That's important for the customer and important for the airlines. The airlines demand that reliability for the customers.
Well, we don't have the crystal ball here, but good things to come in 2017, further momentum.
Optimistic.
You're optimistic about the airport's future. Well, if past is prologue, we've had a lot of good momentum and economic activity that benefits everybody, and want to thank you for your efforts.
Well, thank you.
And look forward to having you back soon for some updates.
Looking forward to it.